Yesterday I shared a little bit about my call experience, if you will, and I really sense God leading me to go to seminary. And as we continue with Moses in Exodus chapter 3, we in a sense are in his call experience, his being commissioned by God. And today I encourage you to read from chapter 3 verse 7 to chapter 4 verse 17, where we have this extended scene of this dialogue between Moses and God, which is really remarkable to witness and to listen to and to read as they go back and forth. And the verse for the day I want to share with you is verse 14. And this comes out, well, let me read you the verse and then I'll say a little more. God said to Moses, I am who I am. He said further, thus you shall say to the Israelites, I am has sent me to you. And that phrase, I am who I am, can also be translated, I am that I am. And part of what God is communicating is that God, in a sense, is self-sufficient. That God is an all-sufficient, totally supportive being. God stands alone, right? That's just it. And what's interesting is if you read through this passage, you see there's a number of verses that start, but Moses. I have them underlined in my own Bible that I have with me here. And verse 11, verse 13, as you keep going in chapter 4, and chapter 4, verse 10, Moses keeps saying, but he's scared, he's overwhelmed. What God's asking him to do seems way too much. And part of what he's asking God in this first, in the passage for today, is like, if people are going to say, you know, what is God's name? What am I supposed to say? He's, in a sense, he's saying, why should anyone believe me when I say the God of your ancestors has sent me to you? And knowing someone's name in that culture was very important. If you had someone's name, there was a sense of you had their presence, you had their power, you had their influence, if you will. And if you think about someone today who's an ambassador for a country, right? They go with the authority of the commander-in-chief, of the president of that nation. They represent them. And in a sense, that's what Moses is being asked to do for God. And so his credentials, just like an ambassador will present credentials to show that he or she truly is the authoritative representative for the country, that's what Moses is looking for here. And it's interesting, isn't it, that God's answer, I am who I am, that looking ahead to the Gospel of John and the series I'm going to be starting on January 29th on the I am sayings of Jesus, part of what Jesus is tapping into a little bit is the idea of he is part of the great I am, as a praise song says. He is part of God from the beginning, and he offers us many things. But I'll be telling you more about that at the end of the month. For now, just remember, God, I am who I am. There is no one greater. And that God is the one who calls Moses and calls you and me to be part of his family and to carry out God's mission in our world.